Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll keep your plate.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News summary of 12. My name is Hansen Der Represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I have a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
We are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to True FM 96.1.
5 minutes of news about Liberia and other parts of the world. My name is Marka Davis. Anchoring this presentation in the headlines, majority bloc defies Supreme Court's rate of prohibition, holds separate section for the third time since declaring a vote of no confidence in Speaker Fonati Kofa. Program Director of the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor denies newspaper reports accusing him of threatening to kill individuals who are creating conflict in the United Methodist Church over the same-sex marriage debates. For gross misconduct, Liberia National Police dismisses 2 officers with immediate effect as they await further investigation. Of the home front, attack on Chad military base killed at least 40 soldiers, the BBC is reporting. The details of these developments, including the bulletin of news, voices of the newsmakers, sports, are all part of this presentation of News Desk. We're taking a short break to be back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is
Well, thanks for rejoining us. Up next is the bulletin of news with Naketa Roberts. Good evening.
Good evening and good evening, everyone. The majority bloc of the House of Representatives has defied the Supreme Court's rates of prohibition, which ordered them to stop all activities leading to the removal of Speaker Fonati Kofa, including holding of separate section. On Tuesday, the majority bloc instead set up a judiciary committee to meet with the justice presiding in chamber, Justice Yamin Bose, for a conference. Justice Bose, a court that's recently granted the alternative rate of prohibition as prayed for by Speaker Kofa, seeking to prevent the ongoing effort to oust him. Speaking on Tuesday in response to the rate of prohibition, Representative James Cole of the anti-Kofa bloc clarified that the rate does not prohibit them from holding regular sessions. Rather, it prevents them from removing the speaker. He cited Article 40 of the Liberian Constitution, which states that no house shall adjourn in the absence of the other. He further emphasized that Article 3, which addresses the separations of power. Representative Collier also referred Secretary Nabil Assembly read the 8-count recommendations in section on Tuesday. In another development, the Liberian Senate has made final decision concerning bad labor practices by China Railway Seventh Group Company (CRSG). The Senate decision was reached following a report from the Joint Committee on Labor, Concession and Investment. The committee report advised the company to adhere to its recommendation in keeping with the labor law of Liberia. The committee report on the recommendations was again read by the Secretary of the Senate, Nabil Assembly, on Tuesday. The President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, Yombli Kanga Lawrence, has called on graduates of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion University to believe in themselves as she cautioned them to take their education seriously. Senator Lawrence encouraged graduates to see her and other leaders, especially females, as examples and never underestimate the power of courage. The pro tempore said the power of courage depends on one's willingness and determination to accept the necessary challenges. Delivering the keynote address at the 33rd commencement convocation and the 24th graduating class of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion University in Vincenttown, Port River, Bomi County, Senator Lawrence urged Liberian students not to feel complacent. Instead, they must overcome every odds in society. The Grand Bassa County lawmaker also thanked the African Methodist Episcopal Zion University for conferring on her an honorary degree in public administration. For his part, the president of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion University, Dr. Emmanuel Johnson, disclosed that over 300 individuals received degrees in different fields of study. Dr. Johnson pledged the institution's commitment to instilling quality Christian-based education to Liberians and non-Liberians. The Rural Human Rights Activists Program is expected to conduct an assessment on the justice system in several communities and institutions throughout the country. The program executive director, Loma Besa, disclosed that as part of the project, the Rural Human Rights Activist Program has concluded a 2-day capacity training for a cross-section of community dwellers and stakeholders on their access to justice. Addressing a press conference in Monrovia, Besa explained that the assessment will be conducted in Mosurado, Bon, Nimba, Grand Cape Mount, and Grand Jide counties. According to Besa, the findings from the assessment will be forwarded to partners to see what can be done to improve access to justice in Liberia. Riverview County Senator Francis Dopo has written plenary requesting an instruction of the executive regarding Bear Mountain Mining Corporation's tax exemption. Senator Dopo said his communication is directed to a matter of significance concerning the fiscal integrity of the nation and the equitable treatment of all stakeholders in the mining industry. According to him, the exemption granted to Bear Mountain Corporation under Section 24.2A valid road user charges of the First Amendment and the restated and amended Mineral Development Agreement is inconsistent with the overarching principles enshrined in the Liberia Revenue Code. Senator Dopo said Section 17 of the Liberia Revenue Code, which speaks to fiscal stabilization, along with Section 15, the anti-avoidance rule, underscored the necessity for a uniform application of the taxation framework. He said the exemption provided to Bear Mountain on road user charges, which are critical for the maintenance of the very road utilized by operations, pose an inherent inequality in the mining sectors. Such an exemption, according to him, does not only undermine the revenue that could be generated for the maintenance of essential infrastructure, but also creates an unlevel playing field for others. A group under the banner Concerned Residents of District Number 4 has threatened to impeach the district representative, Marka Davis, if he fails to remove his signature from a resolution seeking to remove Speaker Nancy Koffar. Representative Thomas Fala is among 43 lawmakers under the banner majority bloc seeking the removal of Speaker Koffar on allegation of corruption, conflict of interest, among others. Speaking Tuesday when they staged a protest at the home of the representative in Dupa Road, the group, through the chairperson, Solomon Saint, said the lawmaker and his colleagues' decision is still in the process of the country. According to him, it is disturbing to hear leaders elected to adequately represent their people being involved into alleged acts of bribery to remove one of their colleagues for their selfish gain. The Ministry of Health and Plan International Liberia, along with its partners, are holding a one-day workshop in Liberia focused on tuberculosis interventions. The workshop, with support from the Global Forums, aims to evaluate the current status of TB response efforts in Liberia, address key challenges, and develop strategies to strengthen the country's TB intervention. The agenda includes presentations covering TB prevalence in Liberia, diagnostics and treatment practices, and service quality. According to Plan International Liberia press release, attendees include investment partners from the global funds, healthcare providers specializing in TB, and various other stakeholders. Save the Children Liberia has donated 493 school kits to the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection in support of its Save Child the Future from Street to School project. Presenting the material on behalf of Save the Children Liberia, the county director, Madam Mercy Chikuchi, said the donation is part of their commitment in helping the ministry to take as many children from the street. And away from Liberia, at least 40 Chadian soldiers have been killed after their base was attacked on Sunday evening, the presidency says. President Mohamed Deby has ordered a counter mission to track down the culprits, according to a statement from his office. The attack reportedly happened on an island called Bakiram in a West Marshall region that was once covered by the water of Lake Chad before the dramatic shaking in the recent days. That's our CI News Bulletin. Is back to you, Marka Davis.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll keep your plate like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News Summary at 12. My name is Hansen der Kapuzin. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I have a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Justice Wese recently granted the alternative rate of prohibition as prayed for by Speaker Kofa, seeking to prevent ongoing efforts to oust him. Speaking Tuesday in response to the rate of prohibition, Representative James Kohler of the anti-Kofa bloc clarified that the rate does not prohibit them from holding regular sections. Rather, it prevents them from removing the speaker. He cited Article 40 of the Liberian Constitution, which states that no house shall adjoin in the absence of the other. He further emphasized that Article 3, which addresses the separation of power, backed their action. Representative Kohler also referenced a 2018 rate of prohibition issued by then Justice in Chambers, Senayor, which was disregarded by the plenary under the supervision of now Speaker Kofa as chair on judiciary, who advised his colleagues not to honor the rate. Well, we hope to bring you that excerpt shortly, but let's bring you this development here on News Desk. Save the Children Liberia has donated 493 school kits to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection in support of its Child Save the Future from Streets to School project, presenting the material on behalf of the Save the Children Liberia. The country director, Madam Mercy Chuhi, said the donation is part of their commitment in helping the ministry to take as many children from the streets. The Save the Children country representative noted that the fight against the increasing number of street kids requires a collaborative effort. As such, Save the Children will continue to work with the Ministry of Gender in such direction. A group under the banner concerned residents of District 4 has threatened to impeach their representative Marka Thomas if he fails to remove his signature from a resolution seeking to remove Speaker Funati Kofa. Representative Marka Thomas is among 43 lawmakers under the banner majority bloc seeking the removal of the Speaker on allegations of corruption, conflict of interest, among others. Speaking Tuesday when they staged a protest at the home of the lawmaker in Painesville, the group, through its chairperson, Solomon Sams, said the lawmaker and his colleagues' decision is stalling the progress of the country. According to him, it is disturbing to hear leaders elected to adequately represent their people being involved into alleged act of bribery to remove one of their own colleagues for what he calls their selfish gains.
The main reason we sent him to the capital before, because for the fact that he decided to join with sort of plot against a speaker who has done absolutely before to us. We see that as a disappointment. So at this point, we keep in the house to let him know that we, the young people, we the citizens of the country, we are not happy with the team. If he wants, we are not stopping them from removing the speaker. And I think they want to remove the speaker away, but doing that illegally, this is what we are going after, it's what we are against. So you want to remove the speaker, so let's say the 49 signature, set in the chamber, and then you go to the person, and then the speaker. And we keep on him to tell you that he do not resist the signature. But at the end of that motion, to have no other option but to gather our people and to gather signature in the 2 or 10,000 to make sure it's removing. That the entire country is very hostage. Because for the past few weeks, they are not working in the interest of the Liberian people. All we see, they are camping to one RLJ hotel. At the end of the day, they will leave from the hotel and go sit somewhere, and they are doing nothing. So once the legislature of most aspect lower is not functional, it means that our entire country will be affected. And you and myself, indirectly or directly, we are affected. So because of that, we are here to call attention. So make sure go by the way. We are saying to him, please go by the way.
Where some residents in District 4, Maserati County, under the banner concern residents of District 4, they're calling on their lawmaker to withdraw his signature from the resolution seeking to remove Speaker Bonati Kopa. For today's development, the majority bloc of the House of Representatives has defied the Supreme Court's rate of prohibition, which ordered them to stop all activities leading to the removal of Speaker Kofa, including holding a separate section. On Tuesday, the majority bloc instead set up a judiciary committee to meet with the justice presiding in chambers, Associate Justice Yami Bese, for a conference. Speaking Tuesday in response to the rate of prohibition, Representative James Cole, one of the staunch advocates for the removal of the speaker, clarified that the rate prohibits them from holding regular sections. Rather, it prevents them from removing the speaker. Well, I don't know why we are struggling to get the voice of Representative James Cole, but let's see if we can lay our hands on the voice of Representative James Cole right here on the program. If you're just joining us, you are listening to News Dex on Truth 96.1 FM. We broadcast from Dupont Road in Painesville, outside of the nation's capital, Monrovia. And some of the top stories we are following tonight. Program director of the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor denies newspaper reports linking him or accusing him of threatening to kill individuals who are creating conflict in the Methodist Church over the same-sex marriage saga. For gross misconduct, Liberia National Police dismisses 2 officers with immediate effect as they await further investigation. And out of Liberia, attack on child military base kills at least 40 soldiers, according to the BBC. Let's try if we can lay our hands on the voice of Representative James Cole of District 2, County, who is one of the lawmakers wanting the removal of Speaker Bonati Kofa. He's been providing reasons why they cannot stop having their section. Let's go to James Cole. He is one of the representatives seeking the removal of Speaker Fonate Kofa, Bond County Representative James Collette. They're speaking during their separate section today in a joint chamber of the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, House Speaker Fonate Kofa continues to face challenges in conducting regular sections due to continuous lack of quorum. During the latest section on Tuesday, only 28 members were present, while 2 were absent, given the insufficient attendance. The Speaker had no choice but to adjourn the section. Speaking to legislative reporters following the premature adjournment, a staunch supporter of the Speaker, Representative Safoko, appealed to his colleagues from the majority bloc to join them in the main chambers to seek redress to their concerns. Foko also called on the Liberian people to appeal to their lawmakers to come to section to do the work of the Liberian people.
Is it the person not ready? You're not ready. And this not ready. This
His representative Frank Sarpoko there appealing to his colleagues who are in the majority bloc to reconsider their decision. They recently signed a resolution but for the 3 members seeking the removal of the Speaker. The program director of the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor has denied newspaper reports accusing him of threatening to kill individuals who are creating conflict in the United Methodist Church. Recently, the New Democrat newspaper, under the caption Bishop Choir Ally threatens to massacre members for standing against same-sex marriage, reported that Jefferson Knight has hatched a plan to kill those against same-sex marriage in the United Methodist Church. But addressing a press conference in Monrovia on Tuesday, Knight, who is also the vice president of the Kakata Farmington District Men Organization of the church, said the story is not only inaccurate but also misleading and does not reflect any of his beliefs. Here's Jefferson Knight, the program director of the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor, there speaking. Refugee County Senator Francis Dopo has written plenary requesting an instruction to the executive regarding B Mountain Mining Corporation's tax exemption. Senator Dopo said his communication is directed to a matter of significance concerning the fiscal integrity of the nation and the equitable treatment of all stakeholders in the mining industry. According to him, the exemption granted to B Mountain Mining Corporation under Section 24.2A of the Road User Charges of the First Amendment to the restated and amended Mineral Development Agreement is inconsistent with the overarching principles enshrined in the Liberia Revenue Code. His communication was read in plenary Tuesday by the Senate Secretary Nambala Sembe. The president pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, Yobli Kanga Lawrence, has called on graduates of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion University to believe in themselves, as she cautioned them to take their education seriously. Senator Lawrence encouraged graduates to see her and other leaders, especially females, as examples and never underestimate the power of courage. The pro tempore said, the power of change depends on one's willingness and determination to accept the necessary changes. She delivered the keynote address at the 33rd commencement convocation on Tuesday. For his part, the president of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion University, Dr. Emmanuel Johnson, disclosed that over 300 individuals received degrees in different fields of studies. Dr. Johnson pledged the institution's commitment to instilling quality Christian-based education in Liberians and non-Liberians.
Over 300 students equipped with the knowledge and skills in their academic disciplines to make meaningful impact to their communities and our nation and the world at large. As part of our rebranding process and to give visibility to our institution globally and internationally, we are forging partnership with renowned institutions in Africa and the USA. We have the cooperation since we took over our precedence on the Myean University. North America, the Community College, Delaware, the College Center, University of Tennessee, Minnesota State University in Minnesota, University of California, Freetown, University of McKinney in McKinney, Brookside University, Kenya, University, Nairobi.
He is the president of AME Zion University, Dr. Emmanuel Johnson, there speaking earlier on the listening to Senate Pro Tempore Yomli Kanga Lawrence, who served as the keynote speaker today during their graduation. The Liberian Senate has presented an account recommendations regarding complaints filed by workers of Firestone Liberia. The recommendations are based on the report from the Joint Committee on Labor and Judiciary, Human Rights Claims and Petition. The Senate, in its recommendations, among other counts, mandated that the workers' complaint be referred to the Ministry of Labor for timely actions and that Firestone management ensures workers receive their salary and benefits. The recommendations were read by Nabal Assembly, the Secretary of the Liberian Senate. Well, we also cannot lay our hands on that, except finally, the Ministry of Health and Plan International Liberia, along with other partners, are holding a one-day workshop in Liberia focused on tuberculosis interventions. The workshop, with support from the Global Fund, aims to evaluate the current status of TB response efforts in Liberia, address key challenges, and develop strategies to strengthen the country's TB interventions. The agenda includes presentations covering TB prevalence in Liberia, diagnostic and treatment practices, and service quality. According to a planned International Liberia press release, attendees include investment partners from the Global Fund, healthcare providers specializing in tuberculosis, and various other stakeholders. This workshop aligns with a concurrent high-level visit from the Global Fund Africa delegation to Liberia, aimed at reviewing health sector investments, particularly TB-focused efforts. The delegation has met with officials from the Ministry of Health and the Liberia Coordinating Mechanisms, the body responsible for overseeing Global Fund activities in the country. Well, folks, this is all the time we've got to be with you on this presentation of News Desk tonight. Sorry we could not bring you sports on News Desk. But before we go, these are the top stories we followed tonight. Majority bloc defied Supreme Court rate of prohibition, holds separate section for the third time since declaring a vote of no confidence in House Speaker Fonati Kopa. Program Director of the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor denied newspaper reports accusing him of threatening to kill individuals who are creating conflict in the United Methodist Church over the same-sex marriage debate. For gross misconduct, Liberia National Police dismisses 2 officers with immediate effect as they await further investigation. And of the home front, attack on Chad military base kills at least 40 soldiers, according to the BBC. Many thanks to all of you for your listening role. Thanks to our reporters, correspondents, and all those who helped to make this edition a success. Thanks to Naketa Roberts, who read for us the news bulletin tonight, Copra Sangak, Sarah Control, and coordinated the sounds. Myean Torgbean has been behind the cameras. Thanks to our sponsors, Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. My name is Marka Davis. Good.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we will keep your data like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary at 12. My name is Hansen the Represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.